Are we live? Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm your boy Sully, and today I am back, as you can quite clearly see, doing a gameplay live commentary, back on some MWR, back on some Call of Duty. Finally, I haven't actually played this game for a good 2-3 days now, since I last live streamed, I think. But that was a really short live stream. I cancelled it quite early because I basically felt like shit after not too long of playing. But yeah, that's not all we're here to talk about today. What I am here to talk about in this LiveComm is whether or not I personally feel Call of Duty is dead. Is it a dying game? Is it a dying art? Is it a dying franchise? Just going to give my 2 cents on it all, only because I feel like it is a pretty valid opinion, as I've played it since the original COD 4 was released. I started playing back in like 2009, but I have played every COD since COD 4, banged them all out for the entire year that they were released, apart from AW. Yeah, apart from AW, I've never not played a COD for a ridiculous amount of time. Total game time on COD has probably surpassed like 70 to 80 days of just pure COD gameplay, not including GB time, not including time in private matches and just playing, like, fucking around with friends and things like that. Just in terms of like general online game time, I have a ridiculous amount of time played on this game as a whole, as a franchise. We'll hop into a DOM only because I feel like those games will be slightly longer. Just because there is quite, not shipment, just because there is quite a lot to talk about with regards to this. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it as like a franchise, content creation, the community, things like that. Like, there is so much to it that you need to bear in mind when sort of trying to work out whether it's dying or not. But yeah, starting things off, like the game itself, Call of Duty itself, as a franchise, personally, I don't think it is dying. I feel like developers have like really not done as well as they could have in terms of the content they're producing over the last few years. The games they've released have not really been what the community have wanted or asked for or requested. It's not really been what the people have wanted. So they have really suffered from that. Pretty sure if it wasn't for MWR, this game would have like a third of Call of Duty's general traditional sales figures, like annually. Alright, we're leaving that game. It's very loud as well. But yeah, if it weren't for MWR, being a different version of the same game, essentially, you had to buy Infinite Warfare to get this no matter what. I feel like without that, you would have seen it sell so much less, because I think when the game had first dropped, there was like 68% of their sales were with the inclusion of MWR, which is proof enough that that's really what they needed to do. It's exactly what the people wanted. They wanted boots on the ground. Everyone was super excited for COD 4 Remastered, and that is why so many people bought the game with that as an additional option. But then that's also one of the issues that a lot of my friends have had. Not too many of my friends play Call of Duty this year. All of the friends I used to play Black Ops 2 with and things like that, and Ghosts, they haven't bought the game purely because they don't want to go out and waste 50 odd pounds on Infinite Warfare just so they'd essentially only play MWR. And I've been just as bad with that. I did buy the game a week after it dropped, I think. Usually I pre-order them, but just didn't have the money this year. Went out, bought it, and have only played Infinite Warfare 3 times total. Once I was completely drunk off my nut, live streamed it for like 2 hours or so. Another time was about a week into MWR, where I was just, I don't know, a little bit bored with it and decided I wanted to play some Infinite Warfare finally, and literally like last week for 2 or 3 games. My total game time on that is probably like 3 hours max, and a lot of that would have just been like me being completely drunk and not really knowing what I'm doing. So that's quite sad, all things considered, because of obviously the statistic I gave at the start of the video with my playtime on COD overall. For me to have only played the new COD this year so little, like I said, it's just quite sad to think about, really. because I do love the franchise to bits. I always have. That's why I've always played it and always bought it every year. And that probably won't change for me, just as a fan of Call of Duty as a franchise, a fan of gaming in general, and someone who's really got a lot more into different aspects of COD over the last like year and a half, 2 years, despite having like a lot of issues with the games that have dropped. In terms of like YouTube content, the sort of thing that I do, the sort of thing I focus on more with Call of Duty, or have done a lot less on my channel recently, as you guys all know, hence the lack of gaming content that you've seen on my channel. I feel like Call of Duty as like content on YouTube has been a dying art for a while now. After Ghosts, it essentially all went downhill. Black Ops 2 was like the biggest year for Call of Duty in terms of content, in terms of professional, competitive gaming. Like, Black Ops 2 was quintessentially the ideal Call of Duty for everything that was going on in the world with YouTube and Call of Duty and its potential growth. And they just didn't capitalize on that the years after. Call of Duty Ghost dropped. I love that game. It's essentially my guilty pleasure Call of Duty, because so many people dislike it, but I absolutely love that game to bits. I was essentially an S&D god on that game. If I had started doing GBs on that before other CODs, then I'd probably be a lot better at the game than I am now. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Like I said, I feel like with content creation, it has been a bit of a dying art, just because you look at famous Call of Duty content creators, or people who did used to be famous Call of Duty content creators, they all have skipped to different games, or stopped uploading COD, or stopped playing COD anywhere near as much as they used to. The only people who really upload it on a consistent basis and still generate a lot of like viewership and things like that are professional Call of Duty players. And that's fair enough, because it's quite a specific niche audience that they have. Their content is literally just tailored for people who watch Call of Duty for that one specific reason. But just because of how bad the games have been, I feel like that's hindered Call of Duty in terms of the potential content that can be created. It was quite limited already in a sense, because unless you were going to do a full series like a Road to Commando, which I tried on Ghosts, or you were going to do like sporadic gameplay commentaries, which are essentially a dying art in their self, there wasn't really a whole lot you could do with COD. There wasn't like anything different about it that you could create a specialized type of content for. People used to do it with zombies, and that went incredibly well for a lot of people for a short space of time. Why has my Elgato just gone all weird and cut out on me? Right, my screen keeps going black. Apologies for this. Okay, hopefully the signal didn't drop or anything, but yeah. A lot of people did zombies for a short while, that as like a specialized game type, game mode, and that sort of Call of Duty content. But even looking at groups like FaZe, Optic, TK, like these Call of Duty clans, so to speak, don't even make that much content on COD anymore. Like the 5 or 6 biggest channels from FaZe, who are essentially the biggest gaming organization in the world. I say essentially, it's a well-known fact that they are, in terms of their social media presence, the amount of like people they still have on the team. They like barely any of them even play COD, let alone upload it anymore, which is quite sad, all things considered, because that's where they've grown from and where they stemmed from, and I'm having a dreadful game. But yeah, that's where they made their name. It's where they made themselves as content creators, gameplay commentators, game players, just people who used to love a game, obviously don't enjoy it anymore, but understood that in terms of content and what they could do with the stuff they were producing from COD, it was a dying art form. In terms of the community, it's quite obvious to see that a lot of people aren't enjoying COD anywhere near as much as they used to, which is why people don't watch it on YouTube anymore. It's why so few people play games or play COD anymore. It's why it didn't sell as well. It's why you can, like, back in the day when Black Ops 2 was out, you could still go to Black Ops 1 and you'd have like thousands upon thousands of people playing the game. You go back to MW2, thousands of people playing that game. Even going back to COD 4, before it was literally just non-stop hacked lobbies, and before this game dropped, you could still quite easily get into a game. I know I never really had many issues with it. I always found it quite easy to get into games on old CODs. But after Black Ops 2 and Ghosts, that wasn't a thing anymore. You try to go back onto Black Ops 2 now, it's probably still like the 2 or 3 most popular Call of Duties being played. You go on to COD Ghosts and you literally get like a couple of hundred people playing. It's so hard to find a game on that, unless it's TDM, which is sad for me just because of how much I enjoyed that game. But I feel like Black Ops 2, they messed it up with League play, because so many people would have loved to just go back to that to play League play, and they've essentially turned that into constant preseason. There's no ranking system on it anymore. You can't do what you used to be able to do on Black Ops 2. So that sort of let Black Ops 2 down in a sense, because of how good of a game it was when it had dropped, and how much there was going for it at the time when it dropped. Personally, I just feel it was a bad idea to stop the League play thing on Black Ops 2, because now it's essentially just sniping lobbies. I used to literally just be an S&D bang out on the game. In pubs, you'd rarely find a hard point or anything like that. CTF, again, hard to find games in. And what is going on? But yeah, I feel like the franchise as a whole, Call of Duty in general, have sort of screwed themselves over a bit. Developers haven't really done the right thing by the fans. They haven't given them what they've wanted or what they've asked for so many years now, and it's let them down so much because it's screwed them over. People don't want to buy COD anymore. So many people who used to play COD switched to different games this year. So many people went on to play Battlefield 1. A load of people just stopped playing FPSs in general this year, and a lot of them have even switched over to like PC FPS games, which is a decent transition to have made. I did it. I played a lot of CS when I stopped playing COD. I played a lot of other FPS games when I stopped playing COD. So I guess it makes sense. I'm kind of a hypocrite in the sense of how I talk about it, and I wouldn't say I judge people for it, but do you wanna fucking die, mate? Come on, why? Okay, there we go. That's what we needed. Sorry about going quiet. I just started going off, which I've been waiting for all game. But yeah, in terms of all the different aspects, I've really spoken about everything you can. Content creation, yes, Call of Duty is very much dead. It's so hard to find people who will still willingly upload COD because of how bad it does in terms of like its YouTube presence and things like that. People just don't want to play it or watch it, or just don't enjoy it anymore on YouTube, which again sucks for me as a fan of the franchise and someone who started his YouTube channel on COD. I sort of screwed myself over in that sense by not picking a better game to work with from the offset. Oh, they destroyed my helicopter. But yeah, really and truly, all I wanted to do was just give my 2 cents, and I feel like I have. Basically, overall, taking into account everything, Call of Duty is very much like a dying art, if you could call it that at any point. Personally, it like saddens me to think about it, saddens me to say it, but it just has. It has died a bit. It's quite sad, like I said multiple times now, but it's just true. Like, there's no real arguing it. There's no real defense for the fact that not many people enjoy it anywhere near as much as they used to. But I'll still carry on playing it. As you guys are fully aware, I don't upload it anywhere near as much as I used to, and that will remain the case on my channel with my content in general. You'll see a lot less gameplay from me just because it's not really what I'm like or can do anymore. If I want my channel to progress or move on or go anywhere, you can't, because you'd just be stigmatizing yourself to be that sort of like one specific thing, and it isn't getting anywhere. So it's not really beneficial for me to try and focus my channel on gaming, especially not Call of Duty, just based on everything, How? Okay. And they didn't want to hit anyone apparently. But yeah, there's no real point in me limiting myself by continuing to upload COD as consistently as I used to or wanted to when I first started my channel, and my channel was essentially at its best. Despite most of my growth on my channel over my last nearly 4 years now on YouTube, coming from FIFA, which also sucks for me because that's like a game that I enjoy a lot less than COD. Because in an ideal world, I could still play COD for like 6 hours a day, get some good gameplay, upload that content, and my channel would be doing fine. I wouldn't be limiting myself like I have the fear that I would if I did carry it on. But yeah, it's more like just a poor choice on my part, picking the wrong game to start things off with. And that guy is apparently a genius. But we're about to lose this game. We're actually going to lose. We do need to get A. We need to get something. Yo, we lose an A? Really? Well, that sucks. Well, yeah, apologies for going a bit off the rails and off on a tangent. Quite a bit of a touchy subject just because of how much I enjoy COD and how much I always have enjoyed COD and sort of where my roots are on YouTube with COD. But yeah, overall, the main things to take from it are Call of Duty is essentially a dying form. The game just isn't as popular as it used to be. Not as many people are enjoying it or playing it or uploading it or producing content on it. Which is sad for me as someone who's always enjoyed the franchise and will probably continue to enjoy the franchise, even if I choose not to play it as much as I used to, or I just don't carry things on the way I started. But yeah, overall, we don't exactly live in an ideal world, hence the reasons Call of Duty is having all of these issues. I can just hope and pray that this year they do a much better job than what they've done with IW. I'm praying they go back to some sort of boots on the ground gameplay, give the fans what they want and not focus on remastering a game, because it's just not necessary if they do things right first time round. I think the statistic for how much time they actually put into IW's development for online gameplay was 6 months, whereas they put 2 years into a campaign that people have actually got rave reviews about. They enjoy the campaign more than they enjoy the online gameplay, which isn't good for Call of Duty and the way things have progressed for it over the last few years. But yeah, very long video now, so I'm going to have to cut it off here. Hope you guys did enjoy. I've been your boy Sully. This has been a random Call of Duty LiveComm, essentially asking, is it dead? But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.